Hello, my friends. Let's start with Om chanting 7 times. So, hello, my friends. Hello again. Welcome to this class. Today is the class number 15. Real Yoga Live continues. And today I have a special class to you. We will practice more important breathing practices, that is diaphragmatic breathing, and even more full yogic breathing. I will talk more today. I have important things to say what concerns the benefits of this practice and scientific things. So I think this is gonna be a good class. I have much to say, but at the same time we are going to practice as well. And without much waiting, I think we can start. We can start sitting in your cross-legged position. Let's start with our awareness. Being aware of yourself. Observing yourself and the way you feel now as we are starting our practice. How are you feeling? Let's move our awareness to our body. How is the body feeling? Is the body feeling pleasant, comfortable? Does it feel full of energy? Or is it somewhat low on energy? Observe your body and the feeling. And now, observe your breathing. How are you breathing right now? Is breathing pleasant, comfortable, or not so much? After having observed basically how we feel now, we will start with some physical stretches, some standing, simple, basic stretches that is going to help open up the rib cage and the torso for the breathing practices of full yogic breathing today. And this is also going to make us feel better. Before we stand up to do these stretches, it's going to take maybe 10 minutes or something. Please give me your likes, give a like to the video so that our channel grows. And then let's stand up and we will start. I will clip my microphone. Observe your posture, observe your stance. Try to maintain your spine more straight, more elongated. All right, hands into the air. Stretch yourself upwards, and when you want, bend backwards. Bending not only from your waist or your hips, but also from your chest. Basically, your arms, your extended arms are going backwards, which opens your chest, rib cage. Let's come back to the vertical. Let's lower the hands down. Exhalation, bend forward and down. Now let's stretch our back. Maintain this position. If you want an even more intense, lift your arms up behind your back, interlace your fingers, and stretch your arms up and behind your back, behind your head. Observe your breathing. Observe how you are feeling your head, which is lower now. Do you feel more blood flowing to the head? Giving nutrients to our brain, which is important. Let's start lowering the arms down. And now slowly we will lift up again. You can do this while exhaling, do it slowly, controlled exhalation. And again, observe your posture. Find a better posture. Stand like a man or stand like a woman if you are a woman. Okay, let's continue. Hands again, namaste. Again, up. Lateral stretch. Let's go to right side. You can lower one arm, place it on your thigh, bend even more, as if you're trying to grab something with your hand that is in the air. Slowly coming back, vertical, exhalation, lower the arm, observe your stance, posture, and observe how the body feels, how the lateral sides feel, the right and left sides of the body. Do you feel the difference? Let's repeat with the other side. Again, arms up, now to the left. can lower the arm. And come back slowly. Lower the arm, exhalation. Again, posture, stand straight. Observe your body, the blood flow, the right and left sides of your body. We will continue with circles, my favorite exercise. So, from the low position, circles, right and up and back. Exhalation, going down through the other side, the left side. Change direction. Inhalation, go left, up. Exhalation, go down through the right side. Continue. Continue. One more. Come back down to the center. And slowly getting back up. Controlled exhalation. Standing posture. Observe how your body feels after this exercise. My body certainly feels good. Feels much better after these circles. Let's continue with wall angels. So you can do this by the wall, as I will show, or you can do this without the wall. So if you have the wall, your glutes touch, your shoulder blades touch, and the back of your head touch. Not much space in your lower back, not much space here. Basically, you are holding flat, kind of. You don't overarch, not like this, not like this. Arms in this position, trying to touch the wall with your arms, forearms, and even the backs of your hands. And inhalation up. Drag it across the wall. Exhalation down. Inhalation up. Exhalation down. Continue doing. There is constant tension in your upper back to move your arms backwards, which opens your chest, which also trains your back muscles, and is an excellent exercise for improving the posture, and also a good exercise to do before the full breathing if you want to Stretch your lungs even more. You can do this with a wall. If there is no wall, you can do this without the wall. One more. And lower your arms. Observe your stance, your posture. Observe how your blood is flowing. And how you feel. Observe how you feel those muscles you have just trained, the muscles of your upper back. It's actually a good training for those muscles. And it is a powerful exercise to improve the posture. We have done, congratulations, we have done the stretches, the physical part, the physical asanas kind of part. We can sit again. I'm not sure how much time it took us to do this physical part, but do you feel better? How do you feel now after these, was it 10, 15 something minutes? How do you feel now? Please write. Good morning, hello, hello. So how do you feel after this short physical practice we have just done? I certainly feel good, I feel better, and I feel ready to continue with full yogic breathing. So yes, today we will practice breathing, and today I will talk. I have things to say. And start again with your awareness. Now in the seated position, sitting. Maintain your posture while sitting. Again, your back is straight. Imagine yourself elongating your spine upwards. And awareness comes back to breathing. You observe how you breathe. How is it now? After these physical exercises we have just done, how is breathing now? Is it more easy? Or is it more hard? Again, you can be employing this Jnani Mudra, the position of hands like this, palms upwards. It helps with energy circuits in the body. Another important thing is you can be holding the tip of the tongue at the upper roof of your mouth, of your palate. It helps with energy flow. Aware of your breathing. We will start with abdominal diaphragmatic breathing. So let's breathe with a diaphragm. You already know how to do this. Each inhalation, your stomach goes forward and also backwards towards your lower back. And each exhalation, your belly goes in also. And your chest doesn't move. Breathe this way while I have some things that I want to share with you, some things to say. We already spoke about diaphragmatic breathing, which activates parasympathetic nervous system, which is good for us, which makes us more calm. It helps us feel feel better, it calms us down. However, I think it is important to mention that many people are actually breathing not with their diaphragm as a default way of breathing, because many people are breathing with their chest, only chest. They inhale and chest expands, belly, no belly, which is called thoracic breathing. And in this unconscious habit, unconscious type of breathing, one is doing a lot of harm for oneself. And I'm talking about the breathing that you shouldn't breathe, but at the same time that many people are breathing this way unconsciously, they are breathing with their chest. What does chest breathing do? It activates sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, which sympathetic nervous system is important, and parasympathetic nervous system are both of them are important for us. But if you constantly have sympathetic nervous system on, it is gonna wear you down very quickly. It will tire you, and it will make you really stressed. Normally, default way of breathing should be diaphragmatic, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms you down. Because by breathing with the chest breathers are actually invoking themselves to feel more stressed. Why? It is because in the chest, in this area, there is more nerve endings that stimulate sympathetic nervous system, fight. While in the stomach area, the diaphragm, when you breathe with your diaphragm, there's a lot of nerve endings that stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you to be calm and recover and rest. And you may have heard about vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is one of the most important nerves that activate the parasympathetic nervous system to calm you down. So this vagus nerve goes through the diaphragm, and when you breathe with your diaphragm, abdominal breathing, you activate this nerve, so important, vagus nerve, which activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It makes you more calm. In your daily life, you want to be calm and cool and feeling good. You don't want to be all of the time tense and stressed out. At some points throughout that day, throughout your life, you need to have more energy. You need more sympathetic nervous system activation. But most of the time, you want to have parasympathetic system going more. And this is why chest breathing is not helpful, because by breathing with chest, as many people are doing, they activate this stress in their body, and it involves many things that happen in the body on the hormonal side and all the rest. Therefore, it is important to acknowledge the importance of this diaphragmatic breathing as a powerful tool to calm you down. Myself, as I have already maybe shared with you, when I find myself in really stressful situations or conflicting situations that can even be dangerous to my life, when I find myself in that intense situation, by breathing with diaphragmatic breathing and concentrating on it, more consciously breathing with my stomach, with my diaphragm, it helps me stay in control. It helps me to stay stable and in control of myself, of my emotions, of my response, and it helps me have my clear thinking, let's say, my clear understanding of what is the situation without making me go crazy and react in some way or fight or something. And this way, in difficult, dangerous situations, or when you are stressed out, really stressed out, that breathing consciously with your abdomen, with your diaphragm, will help you to put you to calm you down, and at the same time be in control, be in control. So it's an important and powerful practice that we are doing, the abdominal diaphragmatic breathing, that we continue spine straight, continue with diaphragmatic breathing, aware of each inhalation and each exhalation. Because by being aware of each inhalation and exhalation with our abdomen, with our diaphragm, we are calming ourselves. We are coming back to our center. And this is what most of us, we need. We need this. We need to calm down and come back to our true stability, true power. So abdominal diaphragmatic breathing activates this calmness. Now, since I was already talking about the chest breathing, I would like to maybe say some other things that are on my mind. So chest breathing activates sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. And one of the good examples would be, imagine or remember when you go to take a cold shower, or now it is winter time, and if you go into the lake, you get into the ice cold water, which is a great practice. Unfortunately, more difficult for me to do this in the jungle. But when you get into this cold water, what happens with your body? Chest breathing. Your body starts breathing with your chest. Why? Because your body sends a signal: danger, danger, danger. Sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. The body is in danger, and therefore sympathetic nervous system is on, and this chest breathing is also on. Just a good example of how connected they are, you know. However, let me say that this chest breathing it can be effective to activate the sympathetic nervous system in you, but this is what you probably don't need this. You don't need this. There are better ways to do this, which is full yogic breathing, what we are going to talk about soon. But just to explain and give examples of how our body functions, and how the way we breathe is the way we feel, the way we feel is the way we breathe. And by controlling our breathing, we are going to control how we feel and how our body behaves. And therefore we can even use these practices to help us in the situations in our life when we need. When we are in danger, we can breathe certain way to give us more power, more energy, more calmness. And when we don't have to fight and it is time to relax and just rest, there are also other ways to breathe, such as diaphragmatic breathing, that helps us achieve that deeper calmness, deeper relaxation, which helps in better physical recovery and in health, and in just feeling better and feeling more fresh and better in many ways. Continue breathing in ways to make you feel better, which is diaphragmatic breathing, aware of each inhalation while your spine stays straight, and aware of each exhalation as your spine stays straight, elongating the spine. The chest is not moving, the chest is not breathing, just the abdomen, just the diaphragm. And by itself, this is also a great exercise for your mindfulness, your awareness, your concentration, your meditation. Aware of abdominal breathing. Something that looks so simple, boringly simple, but as I have shared with you, This simple practice has surprised me with the results it has given me. It really made me feel better in my life, more calm, more feeling just better and lighter. So we spoke about the parasympathetic nervous system, we spoke about the sympathetic nervous system, we spoke about the diaphragmatic and thoracic breathing. And let's use this as our entering into full yogic, because full yogic breathing, as you already know, we already have practiced this many times. Full yogic breathing comprises or involves both diaphragmatic breathing and diaphragmatic inhalation, followed by inhalation of intercostal muscles, the chest breathing, and then exhalation, which involves you exhale from your chest, and then your abdomen, you exhale from your abdomen. So we are going into full yogic breathing now. Start breathing this way. Spine straight, inhalation abdomen, inhalation chest, exhalation chest, exhalation abdomen. As you continue breathing, we can make it even more advanced, even more real. Full yogic breathing, you can make it not just 2 abdomen and intercostal muscles, you can make it 3 by adding the subclavicular area breathing as well. Basically, breathing that makes your shoulders slightly come up. I will show you. So diaphragmatic, chest, and clavicular. Clavicular, chest, abdominal. So you can breathe with also adding the upper part of your lungs, clavicular breathing, the last part of your inhalation. You try to inhale kind of into your throat, kind of into your upper part of your lungs, which makes even your shoulders come up a bit higher. As you do this, be careful, don't overstrain yourself, don't overdo this, because we don't want to have an injury. Even though we are now going into a more pronounced inhalations and exhalations, be careful, you don't want to have an injury. So take it softly, don't overdo. As you continue breathing with your spine straight, inhalation abdomen, inhalation chest. If you decide to inhalation subclavicular area, exhalation, exhalation, exhalation. And keep on breathing this way. We will do this for quite some time. We will be breathing this way for quite some time. So if at any time you start feeling like it is a bit too much, your muscles are becoming tired, your maybe intercostal muscles are becoming tired, then just come back to normal abdominal breathing, maintaining your awareness with abdominal diaphragmatic breathing, having some rest, after which you can come back and start again full yogic breathing. So if it is getting too much, you're getting too tired, take some rest, do just abdominal diaphragmatic breathing, and when you are ready, come back to full yogic breathing. And while you breathe, I would like to tell you some things, tell you some benefits of this breathing that I think are important to know, and inspiring to know what is happening in our body as we do this exercise. So full yogic breathing, one of the benefits is that flushes stale air from your lungs. So basically, most of the time, people inhale a bit, exhale a bit, inhale a bit, exhale a bit, but the totality of the lungs is not being exercised. You just use a small part of your lungs to inhalation and a small part for exhalation. And your full capacity is being just not practiced. Therefore, by breathing this way, full yogic breathing, you get out the air which kind of stays in your lungs, stagnating air. You get this air out, and your lungs get filled with new, fresh air. Another thing is that this type of breathing is like asanas for lungs and asanas for even rib cage, because you are going more capacity. You are going, inhalation is more full to the extent that your rib cage stretches, and also your lungs, the tissue of your lungs is also thus stretches. And this exercising your lungs to its fullest stretch of inhalation makes your lungs more elastic, which makes them more flexible, and which makes them stronger, makes your lungs stronger and more efficient, which in turn makes your normal breathing also more efficient and more effortless, more easy, because your lungs are more elastic. So again, this full yogic breathing which you are doing right now, full inhalations, stretch your lungs, which makes them more elastic and more strong. It is like training, like weightlifting or strength training for your lungs, and also yes, it is also strength training or muscular training for the muscles involved, which again is diaphragm. First is diaphragm inhalation. Continue with intercostal muscles. You train these muscles that are between each of your ribs that make your inhalation and also exhalation. And then the subclavicular area. These are also muscles. Exhalation, exhalation, exhalation. Continue breathing full yogic. If it is getting too difficult, you are getting tired or you are getting dizzy, you can come back to abdominal normal breathing. Also, if you are getting dizzy, you may want to practice full yogic breathing more slowly if you decide to. To continue with the benefits of this full yogic breathing, so we are activating parasympathetic nervous system when we inhale in the abdomen, but then we also activate sympathetic nervous system when we inhale in the chest, and even more in the upper part of the chest. So as we breathe this way, we activate both of those systems, which also activates them in a more balanced way. So you don't have just the parasympathetic, just the relaxation mode, but you also have some more activeness in this, which gives you also important benefits. For example, if you need more energy, also more activation, but also more energy. This is why, let me come back one step backwards. So this full yogi breathing is another practice to give you more prana, more energy, more life force, more chi, more prana. When you breathe fully this way, you will have more energy, you will feel more energy, energetically wise in yourself, which is good, which I use myself, this full yogic breathing, before I have to do some kind of performance. Whether I have to go and speak in front of public or some kind of, let's say, podcast, or if I would go to some kind of exam, where I need to be, my mind, it needs to be functioning well, but at the same time I want to be in control, I want to be calm, stable, but I also want to have clarity in my mind. This is one of the practices that I do before I get into that situation. As a preparation myself, I do this full yogic breathing because I know it gives me energy. It gives me energy, but at the same time, even though I have more energy, I'm also stable to perform whatever I have to do. And this is another benefit of full yogic breathing and where I am practicing it. Beware if you are breathing for too much full yogic breathing, or if you are breathing too fast, you may get dizzy and you may indeed hyperventilate, which may affect you negatively in some regards. For example, if you overbreathe, breathing full yogic breathing for quite fast and quite some time, you may become dizzy, and if you have to go to exam right after that, or if you have to answer some difficult question, your mind may not be working because you have flushed out too much carbon dioxide, which makes you feel dizzy. But as but it is a good practice. This full yogic breathing is a good practice before you have to perform. Don't overbreathe by breathing too fast or too much. But basically, by practicing this breathing, you will find yourself ways how it affects you and how to use it to help you. It is also useful, and maybe even now you can see this. For example, during the day, you may start feeling kind of getting tired, getting kind of sleepy, and you want to have more energy because you have things to do. So this is a good practice to kind of reset your body, reset your nervous system, and give you more energy, more clarity to continue with your day. So you just breathe this way for some time, for a few minutes, full yogic breathing, and you may find that you have more energy and more clarity to continue with your daily activities. So you continue with either full yogic breathing or abdominal breathing. If you are getting tired with full yogic breathing, you don't need to go more, just come back to more easy breathing, because you may overtrain and overstrain your muscles and your system, and after this you may need more time to recover, or you may even get an injury by overexerting yourself. So when you find it more challenging, this full yogic breathing, just come back to your normal breathing. You don't want to overstrain yourself. Remember that this is a powerful practice. It is good to practice this, but if you overdo this, you may not be happy about that. As itself, this full yogic breathing is also another practice of meditation and awareness, because you are aware how you're inhaling in your abdomen, how you continue inhaling in your chest, and how you may even inhale into the upper lobes of your lungs with subclavicular breathing. The same goes with exhalation. Awareness is your secret to make this practice more magical. And as you continue breathing, either full yogic or diaphragmatic breathing with your spine straight, I would like to share with you some of my own experience with full yogic breathing. So, and my experience goes into my memories of myself chanting Gayatri mantra. This was my first mantra. Maybe Om was the first one, and then Gayatri mantra. And it was more than 20 years ago. I think it was in 2006. I was about 18 years old back then, or 19. So myself wanting to achieve enlightenment, I read about this Gayatri mantra, and I read that. And by the way, you have heard me chanting Gayatri mantra before in our live sessions. This is a mantra for enlightenment. So I've read that this mantra brings about enlightenment, but you have to practice it a lot. So you basically have to chant this mantra for like, I think like 100,000 times or something like this. And by doing this, by accomplishing this feat of 100,000 times, you will attain enlightenment. And I said, okay, let's go. And I remember I was in the forest and I started chanting this mantra. And while chanting this, I was chanting basically, yes, full yogi breathing way, basically getting my lungs full. And then exhalation, chanting. I will chant Gayatri mantra one time. Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bharango Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So this is Gayatri mantra. It is invoking light in its different forms and asking it to enlighten us, to bring us to our spiritual enlightenment. A very beautiful mantra, my first one. So I started chanting this, inching my way towards enlightenment range 100,000. But as you can see, it takes a long time to chant just one time, this mantra. And I was taking my time, but I remember after like 10 minutes of chanting, I already was feeling that my lungs are tired and my throat was hurting, and I continued maybe for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes until it was difficult to continue because my body wasn't strong enough, my breathing wasn't strong enough to continue breathing this way and chanting this mantra. And I remember that I tried to continue with my mantra, with my resolution, let's go towards more enlightenment, but I injured myself. My chest, by breathing this way, and I couldn't continue the next day nor the day after. I had to take rest. And I'm giving you this as an example that when you start with this full yogic breathing or with chanting while breathing this way, or chanting in general, it is normal that you feel it will be difficult and you will not be able to continue for long. So if you are feeling tired and your breathing muscles are already tired now after breathing full yogic breathing for I don't know how many minutes we have breathed, if you feel tired and exhausted, it is normal, and I've been there. And to contrast this, to compare this memory of mine 20 years ago when I was chanting, when I just started with my mantras and my full yogic breathing, to compare it with now, the way I am now, I would like to share with you that as a shaman, people come to my retreats here in the virgin jungle, and during the shamanic ceremonies with ayahuasca, San Pedro, other master plants, I chant mantras. This is where also my other name, mantra shaman, comes from. Mantra shaman, because I have chanted so many mantras in my life, while also curiously my birth name is Mantas. Mantas is my official name, which sounds similar as mantra, which is a beautiful play of life, because I have chanted so many mantras in my life that people who come to my retreats and participate in those ceremonies with me, all of them, not a single exception, all of those people were surprised, and all of those people who come to my retreats are surprised to see me capable of chanting through those ceremonies, those difficult and challenging physically, those ceremonies, I would continue chanting non-stop for hours and hours. I can go for like 5 hours chanting without stop. All this diaphragmatic breathing, full inhalation, exhalation chanting, full inhalation, exhalation chanting, and it goes for half an hour one mantra, another 40 minutes another mantra, another 20 minutes another Sanskrit hymn for enlightenment, and it goes on and on. And I can go on like this full yogic breathing and chanting for literally hours without stop. Like 5 hours, 7 hours, even while having to deal with physically demanding effects of, let's say, ayahuasca, which can make you feel very exhausted. However, one thing that surprises those people who come to my retreats is my capacity to chant all of this time while other people are barely struggling to even sit. And for one, I share with you this story of mine, or this experience of mine, as an example that all of these years of myself chanting mantras and doing this full yogic breathing made me capable of this, which I wasn't 20 years ago. So this improvement, this physical growth and mastery of my breathing is a feat in itself, I would say, that I'm grateful for in my life, to witness this in myself and have this as a part of my life's journey. But another thing which I want to share with you, which surprises me. So I have already said what surprises all of the people who come to my retreats. I've already told what surprises all of them. But now I will tell you what surprises me. What surprises me is that this breathing and this chanting, it gives me good things, and I'm aware of it, because while I chant in those difficult and very extremely taxing experiences physically in those ayahuasca ceremonies, for example, this chanting gives me strength. So instead of being on the floor like other people, completely exhausted, completely unable to move, I find energy to sit and to move. I find energy to move and do things that I have to do, even though I feel exhausted, because I'm affected just as everybody else. But at the same time, this breathing gives me this power, this energy to continue, while at the same time it gives me stability, calmness, and clarity to see the situation as it is, which again in experiences like ayahuasca ceremony, many things can happen, and that is an experience that is very intense in different regards, physically, as I have mentioned, but also spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You are affected very intensely, very profoundly. And what surprises me is that this breathing, full yogic breathing and chanting mantras, basically they go both in one, are giving me this power, this almost superhuman looking power, superhuman looking to the participants in the ceremonies. It gives me this power to be a shaman myself, which surprises even myself. And I have many hours, thousands of hours of experience of chanting this way. And again, this chanting is actually breathing, full yogic breathing, and therefore much of these benefits which I'm talking about come just by purely physical breathing of full yogic breathing. Of course, there's another part that comes from the benefits of mantra, specific mantra, but a very important thing that helps me in those ceremonies is just to breathe fully this way, in this controlled way. Abdominal, chest, subclavicular if you want, and exhalation, subclavicular, chest, abdominal. So I have a lot of experience of breathing this way, especially while chanting, and it is what continuously surprises myself, that it indeed gives me this energy and this presence and clarity and power. It's a great practice. Chanting, but also just full yogic breathing in itself. I wanted to share with you this. I know I've been speaking for a long while, but I'm happy I have shared with you also some of my personal experiences and fascination with this practice that you already know, but I hope that you may be having even more inspiration and motivation to continue doing this full yogic breathing after everything I have shared with you today. Spine straight. Continue breathing, whichever way you continue, whether full yogic breathing, whether you are still capable, or maybe you have taken rest and you can come back to full yogic breathing. And if not, just simple diaphragmatic breathing. One of those two exercises we continue, because we continue practicing. And while we continue practicing, let me say a few more words. So the difference between abdominal breathing and full yogic breathing. Abdominal breathing, you are activating just the parasympathetic nervous system. It is great if you want to relax and calm down, and it is a great way of breathing. However, full yogic breathing is when you need more air, when you physically need more air, you are training, you are going to the gym, you are doing something, you physically need more air, then this is the optimal way of sequence of inhaling to fill your lungs more. And by itself is an exercise in itself as well. A breathing exercise that I have already mentioned to you makes your lungs more elastic, more flexible, more strong, and all of these physical benefits. However, full yogic breathing, as it starts with the diaphragm, it already activates parasympathetic nervous system. But as you continue with chest, in full yogic breathing, it also activates the sympathetic nervous system, and therefore it also kind of activates you. Therefore, while belly breathing, abdominal, is the one to make you relax and calm down, full yogic breathing will help you to relax in some way, but it will also help you to activate you as well. So these are some of the differences between these two excellent breathing practices, that when you don't need to breathe much, abdominal breathing is enough, and when you need to breathe more, go on full yogic breathing. Or if you need to perform soon, if you're about to come on stage and be in front of people, or if you have to do something and you want to feel more fresh, have more clarity in your mind, in your body, activated, more energized, do full yogic breathing. And again, if you have to do some thinking that you need more clarity, you don't want to overdo or overbreathe too fast, too quickly with full yogic breathing, because it may make you feel dizzy, which is another topic in itself. We could go into this, how activating sympathetic nervous system can be both beneficial and also not beneficial. But let's leave this for some other time. I've already spoken a lot. Spine straight. Continue aware of your breathing. Whatever your breathing is, just be aware of your breathing. This is a meditation in itself. And these practices, diaphragmatic breathing and full yogic breathing, are also exercises that teach you to breathe. Because if you are breathing abdominal breathing, you don't need to breathe abdominal breathing all of the time fully. Exhalation, full, inhalation, belly inhalation, full. You don't need to always breathe fully like this. You may just inhale a little bit and exhale a little bit. Almost imperceptible, but you're breathing with your abdomen, because your body now is trained that the default way of breathing was with your diaphragm. And you don't need to breathe all of the time, fully in, fully out with your diaphragm, but just breathe with your diaphragm. And this is the default way of breathing that you are training yourself for with diaphragmatic breathing exercise. The same goes with full yogic breathing. When you do this as an exercise, as a training, you are actually also training your body that when you need more air after your physical activity or something, your body will know how to inhale more air. It doesn't mean that your body will breathe 100% in the air, but maybe you will inhale something like this. Almost imperceptible. Starts with some inhalation in the abdomen without even going full inhalation in the abdomen, because I could inhale more. Just some inhalation or most of inhalation in abdomen, and then some in thoracic inhalation. Chest, and then exhalation. Chest and abdomen, but without needing to exhale all of the air. I mean, this becomes your normal breathing that you are not aware of. When this becomes your normal breathing, then you will reap the full benefits of this practice and of this physical training with these abdominal and full yogic breathing exercises. When you will find that it has become your normal and default way of breathing, this is when you will see and you will be able to observe results in the way you feel and in the way your life is, because you will feel better. At least this has happened to me. So the practices you are doing now are very important, and you are doing a great work. Continue aware of your breathing, and each time when it becomes boring and you feel like you want to quit it, remember, it is not supposed to be easy, and it is not supposed to be fun. This is training. Now, what is stronger? Is your discipline and your resolution to continue your awareness stronger? Or is your boredom stronger? Is your sovereign willpower discipline stronger? Or is your weakness, your boredom stronger? It's your choice. These practices, these breathings may not be very entertaining. They may be pretty actually boring. However, this is like training. You may have to go through this maybe even uncomfortable or boring feeling, but by doing this, you are getting yourself enormous benefits in many-fold ways. Continue aware. Now, observe yourself. How do you feel after all of this breathing? what are the effects in the way you feel or your body feels. You've been breathing for quite a while, doing these exercises. Now observe how you feel. How did it make you feel internally? More calm, more stable, maybe more energized? Observe those results. And also observe the physical results, how you feel your lungs right now. Do your lungs feel tired? Maybe the breathing muscles, maybe they are tired, which is normal. Because you have been training them. How do lungs feel? Do the lungs feel more elastic, more extended, more opened? Breathing is this incredible tool we have to help us have better lives. And what we have just done is actually an important work, a great work. And therefore I want to congratulate you, my friends, who made this up to this. If you have made this, please comment done. Breathing done. And while we continue aware, I will come back to the phone to see the comments, maybe something to respond to. So how many people here? Okay, Augustus, done. Good work. Give me a few minutes, a few seconds to see what the comments. Augustus wrote that he felt better after circles. I remember we did the circles in the beginning of our class while we were standing, and after that he can breathe again, the nose, through the nose. Great. I love that exercise. I love those circles. It's a one that activates, gives energy, and relaxes me at the same time. It is one of those favorites of mine that I am happy to share. Also, Augustus continues, also feel heart chakra opened or activated. Very good point, my brother. Very good point indeed. Different postures, and this is also another secret of asanas, the body poses and postures, is that these asanas, they not only make your body physically more flexible, but it also opens your energetic centers, your chakras, and therefore some asanas, for example, are good also to open the chest, your anahata chakra, even, for example, different asanas. And having the arms like this, also it opens this rib cage, and this is what we're also doing, this, bending backwards, and then the circles with our hands overhead. It is opening the rib cage, which is good for if you want to go into full yogic breathing, especially if you go with the subclavicular breathing that we have just been practicing, then it can be good to stretch before doing this full yogic breathing fully full. And this is why I involved those circles and those positions with, for example, with the arms over and back. Opens the chest for full yogic breathing, but also opens the chest, which makes the chakra, the anahata chakra, the heart chakra, also open up. And this is why My brother had observed this change in his heart chakra after doing the circles, which is pretty cool that you can observe those things. Another question: what kind of mantras do you chant during ceremonies? Most of the chant mantras are for enlightenment, so I like Om, I like Gayatri, I like Mahamrityunjay Triambakam, the one you have on the wall, Shiva mantra. I like Shiva mantras in general, any hymns, I know some longer Sanskrit hymns, and yes, yes, these are my favorite practices, but I know a lot of mantras and but maybe when I give ceremonies, when I guide ceremonies to other people, I go with go with those time tested enlightenment mantras. I don't go into some other mantras. If I go by myself, if I go into my own retreat, I may practice some, let's say, Kali energy or some Kala Bhairav, whatever, like more like mantras that can be pretty disturbing. Disturbing is maybe not the word, but intense, which I don't do when I guide ceremonies to other people, because we don't need to go there. Augustus is active in comments and making many interesting points, and I will read this. I think it's a good comment. Have experienced same that mantras gives strength during trips. I imagine you mean like psychedelic trips or like ceremonies, which is also my experience as well, as I have explained to you during ayahuascas and San Pedro's. Mantras helps me in different ways. A long subject mantras I could talk about. I continue reading comment. Also experienced sound of throat more amplified. Wonder about throat singing like Mongolian shamans do in circles. Throat singing. What comes to my mind is Tibetan singing, this low, throat singing, which I enjoy and which reminds me things very deeply. I feel deeply connected with this Tibetan throat singing, even though I'm not practicing it, or I couldn't. I don't chant like these Tibetan monks, but I love this. I love this sound, and it connects with me so strong that I remember that I feel like I've done this in the past, in my previous lives. Let's put it this way. I feel a deep connection when I hear those low throat chanting. I feel something clicking in me. I feel like I'm in my very familiar ground, like I have been hearing and practicing it for thousands of hours, as I have with my Gayatri mantra in this lifetime. So, our 15th Real Yoga Live is coming closer to the end. Today I spoke more, and I'm happy I have shared with you what is so dear to me. And now you know. I hope this inspires you to continue breathing and continue growing. Before we end, to remind you the ways to support me. You can support me with your financial help. You can donate me some money to support my family, and go and head to my website dolamamantas.com. There are the information how to do this. would be very appreciated. Your support for me, my responsibilities as a householder now, and for you, when you are not just receiving but you are also giving back, that makes the energy circulate, energy flow, and that makes you receive more. So if you're just trying to get and get and get and get and get but never give, then you will not get much, or you will get things, but you will not. The real getting will open when this connection opens, and connection is flowing, not just one way but both ways. What I'm wanting to say is that if you feel that these practices help you, and if you support me one way or another, this will make you get more from these classes. This is just simple how the energy flows. If you want to have profound experiences, life-changing, unique experiences you will remember for the rest of your life, you can come to my retreats. I organize retreats that are in the Virgin Jungle, an incredible place. I'm actually going back to the Virgin Jungle house in a few very soon these days. Likely our next class I will record. I will go live from the Jungle House, Virgin Jungle House. And this is where I organize retreats, shamanic retreats with those master plans I have spoken about, that you can participate, and also yoga retreats and nature retreats to spend more time with yourself and reconnect with yourself. If you want to have this immersion with Dolama Mantas into the depths of your own self, and if you have the chance of coming to my retreat in Peru, you can find more information about those ones on my website, Dolama Mantas. And if you know somebody who may be interested, why don't you recommend them? If you feel connection with this Dolama Mantas and you like his energy, and you know that some of your friends would be benefited with this energy through the classes by participating in these lives, or maybe coming to my shamanic retreats, then by recommending to your friends, you will help them and you will help me. So that will be also a way to support me, help me, which will be good for all of us, yourself included. Telegram channel, we have the Telegram channel. You can join to get more motivation to practice yoga and training, and also share your own training. Very welcome. So in the description field beneath this video, there is a link to my Telegram channel, and on that channel there is a link to my group where you can post as well, and let's make it a community. I would also like to connect with you and read your experience and read and be more connected. Let's make this our community where we can help and inspire and motivate and push each other forward. I think this is it. I think this can be pretty powerful. Having said all of this, we are ready to end today's practice with 7 Om chanting. Are you ready? Let's go. Wishing you the best with all of my love. Let's see each other in the next class.